Welcome, everyone, to our 2025 product look back and 2026 look ahead for Rippling IT. We're super excited to walk through the state of IT trends we're seeing, the major product investments that we've shipped this year, and then what's coming in 26. Super exciting stuff. I'm excited to talk about a lot of it, stuff that we've been kind of working on for a while now. So let's jump in. I've got Todd here.
Yeah, thanks, Carter. Thanks for everybody for joining us. This really was a huge year for Rippling IT, I think both on the identity side and on device management. And, next year is shaping up to be even bigger. So let's take a look.
I am Carter Francis, IT community manager here, former sysadmin. I've been with Rippling for several years now. I'll be guiding the discussion today and kind of helping maybe with some Q&A at the end. And I'm joined by the famous
Todd Horner. Famous is a strong word, but I lead a team of IT solutions consultants at Rippling. I've been with Rippling and Rippling IT for just over 6 years now. And it's been super exciting to see us kind of accelerate these feature releases and kind of grow Rippling IT products. But my team helps customers understand how they can deploy and optimize and scale Rippling IT across their tech environments. And I'm super excited to give you all a peek of what we have released in the last year and what's coming up next.
Yeah, I'm super excited we're doing this. It's we've been really digging into kind of like just talking as much as we can with customers, and as we've grown, we have to shape our product because we use it all internally as well. So it's been fun to really get to like this influx point of really making some cool stuff happen. So here's what we're going to cover today. Findings from the 2025 State of IT Operations Report. We're going to do a look back at some of 2025's products that we've launched that maybe you missed, or maybe you're checking us out and just didn't know kind of the current state of things, some really exciting stuff that we released this year. And then we're going to do a sneak peek, my favorite part of what's coming in 26. So we're going to move kind of fast, but we plan on leaving enough time at the end for questions, and we really like doing the Q&A stuff at the end of these sessions. So definitely feel free to chime in along the way and at the end of this presentation. To set the stage, let's look at trends that we're going to see, you're experiencing or other IT teams are experiencing globally. We interview and survey hundreds of IT leaders throughout the year because we want to understand where our time's being spent and make sure that our products align with our customers and future customers, and what your pain points are. So all of that is kind of in mind as our product managers and engineering teams work on these things.
Yeah, this year's report paints a familiar picture. Lots of IT teams are still drowning in lots of manual work. 76% of IT admins spend 10 or more hours a week on redundant tasks. They require 3+ tools for offboarding for 83% of teams. And onboarding's even worse, with 90% needing multiple tools. And it's this kind of fragmentation that is exactly why Rippling IT exists. And we're solving these problems, which is the reason I came to work at Rippling IT, having seen these types of problems firsthand in multiple roles at multiple companies.
I think we'll touch on it a little bit later, but Todd and I worked together years ago, and we're in the thick of onboardings and offboardings and, ever management and change management through IT systems. So we are very familiar with these pain points, and it's cool to be able to solve a lot of them for so many people. We've got a visual here, kind of makes the problems, puts them right in front of you, where only 10% of teams can onboard with fewer than 2 tools. You've really got to have your stuff together. Most, half need 3 to 5. 12% need more than 10. So if you've got disparate systems, the sprawl gets super costly and risky, right? I mean, it goes without saying that the more touch points you have, the more you might be missing something along the way.
And the time impact here is huge. 72% take 4+ hours to onboard someone, and nearly a third need most of the day. And that's this is why organization-wide unification can be so impactful.
It reminds me of, the good old days, Todd, where we'd have last minute onboardings, or suddenly like 6 people were going to start in a week or so, and it's like that just sucks up all of your time, right?
Yeah, totally. And offboardings, were the least favorite part of my job. Waiting until 5:01 on a Friday to do all this stuff. But certainly we had those 8 a.m. Fires on Mondays where, we had 2 new hires that we weren't even told about. So
Yeah, having stuff where it like automatically takes care of that, even when people forget to like talk to IT, is kind of super huge. This slide to that point. Offboarding's the dangerous one, right? I mean, only 40% of teams report that they feel confident that they can track access for that departing employee. And I know with audits becoming more and more common, and like more, we talk to so many customers who are in software businesses or else, otherwise, and they all need to get certified in some way, and they're going through SOC 2 audits or needing to comply with their own internal structures and stuff. So, being unsure of whether someone still has access in a decades old system is not where you want to be. So, centralizing your identity platform aims to eliminate all that. I mean, with only 48% of teams feeling very confident tracking departing employee access, like we just said, Todd, you don't want to be there at 5 p.m. like scrambling and missing stuff because you're trying to have a happy hour with someone, right?
yeah, and I think 48% is probably a little bit high here because,
Yeah.
I think there are still some manual checklists in this 48%. And if it's a manual checklist, you really can't be very confident. Speaking from experience, I remember Carter, our Jira offboarding checklist, getting up into, the 20s with different things we had to do. And certainly, I've been guilty of, accidentally skipping over one or two or being in a rush on Friday or whatever it is. And so you can't really be very confident if you're still juggling checklists.
Yeah, you shouldn't be like, I'm going to handle that on Monday morning, right? Like that's not
Yeah,
that's not a good look. Uh,
definitely done that.
Finally here, data inconsistencies will plague you, right? If you have all these disparate systems. So 68% experience data issues weekly or daily. I'm sure a ton of those people are like using manual spreadsheets in between their teams. So when your systems aren't syncing up, every update becomes a misstep, or you're missing workflow points, too many points of failures. Even if you've got scripts like we used to have, Todd, like we had to spend, hours every week or several times a month going in and like updating the way those worked just because internal policies were changing so drastically.
Yeah, totally. And then when, the person that, originally came up with the script leaves the company, sometimes the access that's powering the scripts can go with it, which is also a problem.
Yeah, suddenly nothing works. All right. Well, let's look back at some of the cool stuff that Rippling did in 2025. So enough with the problems. Let's talk about these solutions and what we actually shipped this year, which was a kind of landmark year since I've been involved with Rippling. Really exciting that in identity and access management, we launched multi-IDP support. Third-party access management app is like totally updated. The UI's all brand new and great. Our group sync enhancements really make a difference for active administrators. One-click drift resolution. The first time I saw that, I was like, oh man, that used to be such a painful thing that I'd have to go in and do at one of the companies I worked for. And it's really nice to see like the big level stuff like Slack Enterprise Grid support that's launched and more. On the MDM and device management side of things, we've expanded our MDM offerings to include iOS and iPadOS. So that's a whole new set of things to that you can now control. You don't have to have a separate system just for your iPads or your iOS devices. macOS Federation means that logging into your Macs is like easier than ever. Windows and macOS policy templates exist now. Uninstall support for apps. So our software deployment has really been leveled up there. Tons more, really. And then with inventory, we just launched device buyback and certificates of destruction. So we're going to break down these features and kind of talk through them for you.
Yeah, so third-party app access. We've created kind of a single pane of glass for all of your third-party SaaS integrations. You can see the connection status, who the owners are. You can resolve failed installs uh, right here in one place. And then we've also made it easy to build and manage custom integrations right alongside the Rippling built integration. So this and eliminates some shadow IT, some of the mystery SaaS problems, and kind of centralizes visibility into all of your integrations.
Yeah, like we mentioned, it's just being able to like see mismatches way easier is super cool. Um, with access assignments, we take the complexity out of app provisioning. So we had it where you could, auto deploy apps successfully and easily, but things are way easier to roll out than ever before. You can use saved supergroups, which is just a game changer in Rippling because you can use it across so many different pieces of the platform. You can preview all your changes in there. You can define exclusive attributes. So when you're building a group, you can go in and use it in other places. So if the very first time you've ever built a group that like has IT and security people combined in it, you don't have to like reference that in a unique way each time you want to roll that out again. You can save it as a new group and then assign the right people to be able to manage it or change it as well.
Yeah, this can let your IT team move away from like homegrown fragile scripts that's managing, access and cutting off access, manual checklists like we talked about, and also the one-click issue resolution and access change previews are a real game changer. For example, you can see before you actually change access to your users what's going to change so that you don't accidentally cut off or grant access to the wrong people.
Yeah, it's really clever about like if I granted Todd unique access, but then added him later in a group, it automatically knows that, hey, Todd's in this access group. He has access by being in IT. We can remove now that individual assignment that we gave him for maybe testing while we were rolling the product out or something like that. Something that like, it sounds, trivial, but at the end of the day, when you go through audits and stuff like that, you don't want to have that like, oh yeah, all of IT has access, which, Todd's in there and Todd has access. Now you can just say all of IT has access and be really clear about that in your reports and your audits.
Yeah, it keeps things a lot cleaner for sure.
Yeah. With enhanced group management and syncing, we solved a massive real world pain, like we just mentioned with mismatched groups. And you can also compare Rippling versus third party accounts side by side. So if people, have different accounts, or if you have just accounts in there that have nobody in your current Rippling, it's so easy to see now that, oh, this person doesn't have an account or this account doesn't have a person matched to it. And like, why is that there? So keeping identity hygiene tight at scale is the real goal there.
And like a lot of what we're seeing here, this is stuff I know you, uh, myself, wished we would have had a long time ago in our IT careers for sure.
Yeah, I know with Zoom and like Atlassian Access specifically, but with tons of other things. Whenever you're rolling that out, if you're rolling that out for the first time to an organization that's maybe had only a few people existing in those accounts and now you're suddenly granting broader access, it's so helpful to know if there is a mismatch or you like someone signed up for Zoom like on a personal account. It's so much easier to kind of see that happened and stuff. RPass, huge improvements, auto logins, autofill, TOTP, time-based one-time password support improvements, tagging, and even a Firefox extension all rolled out this year. So it's a lot smoother, a lot more secure than it's ever been, especially for shared teams access.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier just having a password solution, in the same place you're already managing identity and devices in the first place. And we're just making it a lot easier to keep that in one place versus having to go to LastPass for half your company, but then you need one password for your developers. I love these RPass improvements because we're enabling more companies just to keep RPass versus go to those third parties.
It's one of the best examples, I think, and we'll talk about it a little bit more sneak peek in our 2026 section. But it's cool to see RPass growing as we grow out of necessity because we use it all in house. All right, on the device management side of things, we added iOS and iPadOS support. Huge milestone that happened early on in the year. We now fully support Apple Mobile MDM. So zero-touch enrollment, security enforcement, configuration profiles, contact syncing. There's a ton there. Having everything in your same ecosystem and being able to run reports across the board there is like just hugely helpful for anybody who's rolling out iPads or iPhones.
Yeah, this is one we've been hearing about from customers as a need for a while. And I know we were very excited to launch this early in the year. And it's just really great to see management of iOS and iPads right there with Macs and Windows devices as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No more hopping to a different system. With password federation, we simplified your macOS logins by letting users authenticate with Rippling SSO. So local macOS accounts stay aligned with your IDP, making life totally easy for both users and the administrators supporting them. Password resets become kind of a thing of the past in that kind of situation.
Yeah, we tested this internally, and I've just got to say it was super smooth. We moved from using local account passwords on our Macs to this password federation feature. And for admins and for the users, it was super easy. I just got a little prompt, entered my password, boom, it's done. Super helpful.
Policies tab on the device management side of things. We talked to a ton of admins who were asking for a single place to manage OS update policies, OS policies, password policies, and like any other kind of MDM related policy that you want to roll out. So we really updated our policies and the way they work. We also added templates for SOC 2, NIST, CIS, L1 and 2, plus granular OS update controls. So like now you can finally roll out like a new version of Mac OS to only your IT team for the first week and then delay it for the rest of your company, which is huge. This reduces like configuration drift and audit headaches. You know exactly who's going to update when. You can be really specific about it. What do you think about compliance from that perspective, Todd? It's kind of new to have those templates in there.
Yeah, it's really nice because not everybody knows what CIS is or has dealt with that checklist before, or maybe has never been to through a SOC 2 audit before. So, giving someone more of an easy button where it's not only effective, but saves them time and doing the research and understanding what they need when we have this built in and can just roll it out with a few clicks has been super nice.
Yeah, I like how granular it is where you can like go into a template and maybe you want to use that as a starting point, but you can still go in and tweak it as you need.
But yeah, still fully customizable for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, device buyback. Newest, it feels so new, but it's super exciting. Device buyback lets you securely retire devices and get real-time resale values in the product. So you don't have to talk to external vendors when you're trying to get rid of old inventory. If devices, an old device came back from someone who left and it went back to your inventory management, you can just like check how much its resale value is and fully retire it and get a certified data erasure report in all one click. So this being the latest product release, Todd, what do you think our reasoning was behind this update? What do you think its impact's going to be like?
Yeah, like you said, this is very new. We're seeing a lot of interest because it kind of ties a bow on the device lifecycle so that at the end of its life, you have an option, where previously really the only option was recycling. And now you can actually make a little bit of money back. And I know this, like those stacks of used computers just get out of control. And for me, a previous couple of jobs, we ended up having to call a company to come pick these things up, and they ended up selling them and keeping that money. Now you can actually just sell them with a few clicks in Rippling, get a credit on your bill, and so it's not just a complete waste.
I remember I've talked to a bunch of like incoming customers and folks who like start with Rippling and have that situation where they have like maybe it's a new admin and he's walked into this situation where he has like a couple dozen machines in his server closet, and they just drop ship everything to Rippling Inventory Management, and let those computers, get handled by all that, because they don't have enough boots on the ground to like spend an entire week cleaning up everything and like documenting what state this computer's in. I see that time save is just like monumental. Like you and I used to spend so much time, like we'd make our buddy Kelly clean up all the stickers off laptops, and the idea that that's handled by inventory management is awesome.
Yeah, I can't bring up inventory management without talking about sticker removal, because I know firsthand how much of a pain that is.
Goo gone. All right. Well, that was what happened in 2025. Now let's look ahead at what's coming in 2026. Offboarding automation continues to be a top priority, as we currently do for Google. In 2026 for Microsoft 365, we're going to allow you to automate and fully customize how you revoke sessions, handle data forwarding and shared mailboxes, and license cleanup automatically. I know our Google advanced offboarding is just like, I feel like it's used by every single customer that uses Rippling IT, Todd. I mean, what do you think the Microsoft 365 impact is going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think Microsoft and Google are our top two most popular integrations for good reason, because you got to have email, but suspending the email account is not all that needs to be done. So this is going to automate some previously more manual steps that may need to be done after the fact, post offboarding. But really, fewer things to worry about late in the day on Friday, or 3 weeks after somebody leaves the company, and to ensure that they're not going to be missed or mishandled after the fact.
Yeah, the goal is certainly to like have it all in Rippling, so you don't have to have like any kind of post cleanup manually or script it out or anything like that. All right, RPass, sharing and item management is top of mind. We're bringing folder level governance to RPass, making it fully enterprise ready. So for anyone out there on the call not aware, Rippling's password manager is RPass. We use it in-house, and our own growth over the last several years has really continued to inspire the evolution of its features. So it's finally really at a place where anyone using or paying for like a third-party password manager and using Rippling, it's really time to revisit it and check it out and see if a switch could save you like tons of money in software spend or just like ease of use. Because I know that automatically giving everybody who joins a company like the same password manager and automatically having the right access is like big deal.
Totally. Yeah, I think this is probably our number one feature request. The ask for the ability to give access to multiple things at once is pretty common. So for example, you might have 5 or 6 or more passwords you want to grant to everybody on your engineering team as soon as they're hired, or maybe after they pass their security training or whatever. But here, this is going to allow you to do that in essentially one click.
Yeah, and if folks aren't really familiar with RPass, the idea of like the way offboarding works, it automatically takes care of responsibility transfers and ownership of passwords. So like if I were to leave the company and I owned a bunch of passwords, it's going to get prompted that what needs to happen with this stuff. And it's even baked into like IT approvals. So when someone leaves, you can make sure that like IT or another stakeholder like has the right eyes on what that data transfer looks like. All right, access requests. This one's super exciting too. End users will soon be able to request app access within Rippling, powered by workflow-based approval logic. So we're giving IT a standardized, predictable request pipeline, and this is going to enable self-service requesting of apps from users. I think this is super exciting stuff. We get asked about this all the time. So approvers get one-click approvals, and you can delegate that as needed, so the right people can grant access. You maybe don't have to involve IT if you don't want to for certain apps, right? Like you could assign that person in marketing or that person in engineering who has, the right privileges, the ability to approve that app access, and then IT never even has to see a request come in. I think, Todd, these have traditionally been a messy process and inconsistent across, different companies. Everybody does this really differently. What do you think we're really trying to solve at the heart of this?
Yeah, like you said, this is one of those things we hear a lot about from customers, but also one of the things we needed internally at Rippling. So we're using this internally and have been for a little bit right now at Rippling. And it's essentially, getting users the things they want, the things they need more quickly, and giving approvers the flexibility to approve seamlessly, and also assign, different departments to approve, just like you said, and all while keeping track of everything in one place for compliance. So this is definitely not only a need for our business, but we're taking customer feedback and putting it into action here.
Yeah, I'm passionate about change management. I always have been. And I feel like this is so good about like an audit trail, and keeping track of who got access, when, why, and how. And um, I'm always excited to see those kind of improvements. On the software deployment side for device management, we've heard everybody loud and clear. So deeper visibility into software installs is coming. Deployment 2.0 is what we're calling it, adds per device install logs, updated tracking, and kind of status breakdowns of exactly what's going on. We just kept getting asked for deeper visibility into exactly what was happening during a software deployment. So we're really looking to fill that gap.
Yeah. This is essentially us hearing our customers and providing more granular control, a little bit easier ways to troubleshoot, and visibility into errors when things do hit speed bumps.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Device Store 2.0. I'm excited for this one for sure. We have been asked about iPhones in the store all year long, ever since we launched iOS and iPhone support. So having those and the new M5 directly in the store is going to be awesome. We're also adding approvals into the store in a new way, and ordering is going to be twice as fast, we're hearing. So that should be just a huge difference in there. Filtering and being able to like compare what you're buying is going to make it easier to know exactly what you should be buying, so you can make those customized configurations exactly how you want, and make sure that you're not just kind of picking something at random because it looked good in the moment, but you can actually like side by side compare stuff. What do you think, Todd? How do you see the device store evolving as we continue to build this out?
Yeah, I think, like you said, is the next big step is continuing to work on our partnership with Apple, get phones in there, and as we release new features for device management, maybe Android tablets down the road, and also just listening to our customers and making sure what they need is available. So, if you're a customer, you're listening right now, like reach out to support, reach out to your account manager and let us know what devices you'd like to be added in there, because we very likely can work with our vendors today.
Yeah, that is a good point out. I don't know if since I've been here I've ever heard like if it's something out there that you can purchase, a lot of times it can be added to the store. We just might not know about it, and it might not be in there for no other reason than no one's asked us. So if you've got something you've been wanting to order through the device store, definitely talk to your account rep, or reach out. We're in Mac admins, and we're always happy to hear that kind of feedback. I think being able to buy phones as well as iOS stuff is awesome. I've worked somewhere where, an entire group of contractors only got a phone versus a computer, or only got an iPad because we rolled out, a new initiative where like these contractors were using a special kind of iPad with a keyboard and stuff like that. Being able to roll that out and not involve any other vendor is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, that kind of brings us to the end of 2026, maybe. I'm sure there'll be more things. I didn't know device buyback was coming in 2025, so who knows what will actually happen in 2026. But thanks, everyone, for joining. Drop your questions in the chat. Feel free to unmute. We're happy to talk through some stuff and do a full Q&A here. So like I said earlier, we do love feedback. So if on a call it's not really exactly where you want to do that, feel free to reach out to Mac admins. We're in Spiceworks. And you can also always talk to your account rep. they'll be responsive and make sure that your IT concerns get to the right people and get handled accordingly. So, uh, cheers. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, y'all.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Carter and Todd. It's awesome to see, what's to come in 2026. That's exciting. So, hi, everybody. My name's Jacob. I am on the Rippling Product GTM team here to do a Q&A with y'all on if you have any questions about what we've launched in 2025 or potentially things coming on the 2026 roadmap, and I'm happy to answer. Scott Cohen, will we get more granular activity logs with the general MDM agent? The short answer is yes. So while we did show a 2026 preview, that is just like a little splicing of what is to come and what we are able to share with y'all today. Activity logs is a huge investment for Rippling. So we understand the importance of those logs when it comes to proving compliance, understanding what actions were taken. So more granular logs regarding MDM, yes, that will be coming in 2026. And I'm just here monitoring the chat, so feel free to answer any or drop any questions in there that y'all might have. And I'm happy to answer them live. I think another thing that we're really excited about with 2026 that we didn't go into too much depth of for this webinar is we also are really excited with when it comes to our access requests, the ability to make that, not only for self-serviceable on the user side, but with admins improving, traceability, troubleshooting, being able to understand, when issues arrive when it comes to access and requesting that access. So that's another kind of layer that I wanted to add on to what Carter and Todd chatted about, but that will hopefully come in within the first half of 2026. So keep an eye out for that. Russell Elliott, I'm new to Rippling IT. The product looks awesome, but feels like it's for larger entities. Do you guys service smaller companies, 10 to 20 employees? That's a really good question, Russell. And yes, the answer is absolutely. We do service smaller companies. We have a very wide range of customers from, smaller, less than 50, even like we have some people who have less than 10 employees that use us. Across our different services within Rippling IT, we offer identity and access management, device management, and device inventory management. So some of those smaller customers use us for all three. Some just decide to use us for one of those things, depending on their needs. And I think the reason why there's such a benefit with smaller companies is oftentimes there's maybe one IT person, maybe there's no IT person at the time, and they think, hey, I still need to, lock down security and give access and provision access to applications across my employees. And I don't have this large IT team to help me do it. How can I do that efficiently and set those security configurations without having to kind of babysit those all the time or use custom scripting? So smaller companies, even 10 to 20, get a lot of value out of Rippling. And we actually see that it's pretty common for them to use us. And obviously, if you want to book a demo, we do have the book a demo button. You can see the product for yourself. We can kind of customize it, and you can see how other companies around your size, those are our IT demo experts, are really good at kind of showcasing how different companies use us. And I think another benefit of Rippling as well is we have a lot of default out of the box templates and configurations that you can use if you just want something simple, or we really do have a lot of customizations and flexibility if you want to have a lot more granular policies when it comes to your security or device policies. Awesome, Russell. Yeah, great. Well, we can't wait so it looks like you hit the demo button, so can't wait to chat with you more.
And Jacob, we have one question. Hi, everybody. I'm the man behind the curtain here. We have one question from Fareed, who is a prospective Rippling IT customer. How often should he expect us to do these roadmap calls, and how often are we announcing new features? And then any update on security and compliance features comparable to Drata and Vanta?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So we do, regarding the webinar cadence of how often we kind of give a sneak peek, I think this is something kind of new that we're trying out and wanting to showcase. So we don't have a set cadence. I think if this is something that y'all want to see more and more, we can definitely make a case for it. I think every quarter, maybe every 6 months is definitely a reasonable, thing we can potentially do. So just looking at the enthusiasm for it, I think, every kind of 3 to 6 months we can talk about it. I also think that if you are curious about what is to come, our sales rep are very equipped with what we can chat about within the roadmap. If you're an existing Rippling customer, reach out to your account owner, and then we can make sure that we give you the information that you need. So regarding webinars, we don't have a cadence set up, but I think every like 3 to 6 months is probably what y'all can expect when it comes to something, giving a peek behind the curtain, because I know that's stuff that y'all like to see. And then there was a second part to that question. The security and compliance features with Drata and Vanta. So we do have integrations with Drata and Vanta. We are coming out with new security and compliance features every day. So in 2025, I believe Todd and Carter mentioned this on the webinar, that we have templates now for SOC 2 enforce SOC 2 NIST and CIS policies. Regarding anything like with automated GRC or automated compliance, we currently don't have any, release dates or things like that regarding to how in-depth automated compliance is coming. But Rippling, we are committed when it comes to creating more compliance features in the future. So no set timelines or things there, but it is something that we are heavily investing in and are looking and considering launching in 2026.
Well, Jacob, it looked like that is all the questions for today. We want to thank you all very much for joining us. We really appreciate you, and we hope to see you for next week's webinar, where we're actually going to be doing a deep dive on Rippling IT. We'll call it Rippling IT 101, but for those interested in getting a deeper dive on our features and everything within the platform, make sure to sign up for next week's webinar, and you can find that link in the docs. Thank you again, Jacob, for your time today and answering the Q&A, and we look forward to working with you in the future. And thank you, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your
Thanks, everyone.